I've known John for a long time, and he's not only a writer, but a great literary citizen of Louisiana, doing a lot of things for writers, especially running Unlikely Stories, which he started in 1998 in its print subsidiary, Unlikely Books. He's lent editorial and management assistance to a number of literary and artistic ventures, such as Mad Inc. and Big Bridge, organized literary performances, and performed himself in places like Arkansas, California, Chihuahua, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Louisiana, Massachusetts, New Mexico, New York, and other states and districts. His poetry books are Standards of Sadiddy, which is available for you to purchase tonight from Lit Press and Prosthetic Gods. Is that one the other one that's there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Also, Blood and Salsa and Painting Rust and Last Chap. Please give a big welcome for them.
This is called Evolution of a Plagiarist. Take a daughter, any daughter. Let's say her father's famous. Let's say he's a cartoonist known for his counterculture style. Take the daughter and her drawings. Now let's say that she's an artist covering a variety of topics and a multitude of themes. But when you make the coffee table book that shows what she'll be known for, you are focused on the drawing of her famed cartoonist dad. Now let's say some of them are naked, and he's known for being naked, and many more refer to the fetishes of which he brags. And so she becomes Electra, and her Jew mother Clytemnestra. So now archetypes are released where two women used to stand. Now take the story, take the poem, drag the poem from the story, take the narrative you're building, though the narration's all been done. Take the way that you must process everything she tries to tell you, speaking loudly with her eyes and ears, although her mouth is closed, underneath the violet headboard, beneath the noise, the void, the meaning, and the silences you know by now you'll never understand. Take the pictures of her lifestyle, take the images you filter, keep your own eyes open going with her to the clubs and to the bars. Watch her hairstyle, watch her movements, watch her tactics as she compliments the woman while strokes the fold between the man's thighs. Make the facts fit the backstory that the coffee table gave you. Press her down like a dead fairy into that book you'll write. Take her knowledge, take your learning, take every experience that's left you, stupid as you were on the day that you were born, when the doctors pulled your ankles from that open solar plexus. Someone's daughter spread beneath you, sliced like Portnoy, like a fugu, like a reference to Macduff where a woman used to be. Take your little crumbs of knowledge so opposed to understanding, and acknowledge that the narrator will always make it about him. That poem was inspired by an afternoon in a bookstore, looking at a book by Sophie Crumb, Evolution of a Crazy Artist. Sophie Crumb's the daughter of R. Crumb, and I don't know Sophie Crumb. I don't know R. Crumb. This is just some thoughts that came to me while I was looking at her art book. If Sophie Crumb or R. Crumb reads it and takes up the family habit of committing suicide because something said in the media, it's not my fault. So in August, I joined something called The Grind. Does anyone know The Grind? Brad knows The Grind. The Grind is a online writers group. It's not a critique group, it's a peer pressure group. And the purpose of The Grind is to make you write a rough draft of a poem every day for a month. You join for a month at a time. And they use peer pressure to make sure your output is maintained. You have to tell who invited you to The Grind. I'm not inviting you. You have to tell who invited you to The Grind, and if you don't produce something every day, they get in trouble. So it's a fairly serious way to force you to write every day. That's what I did for the month of August. It is now October, and the month of August was fine. And this was what I wrote on the first day. How to recover from writer's block. Step 1. Join a high-pressure writing organization that expects a significant level of output. Step 2. Buy a Rider-Waite Tarot deck. Shuffle it. While shuffling the cards, notice that it's no longer called the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, but the Rider Tarot deck, registered trademark, known also as the Waite, registered trademark, Tarot, and the Rider-Waite Tarot, registered trademark. Remember an old book, Women of the Golden Dawn, which asserted that Waite, a man, gave vague sketch ideas for this most famous of modern tarot decks, but a woman artist realized all the ideas, and that the deck was probably considered a woman's creation, but a man got all the credit because it was a Golden Dawn and also Victorian and also English and also an everybody thing. Look more closely at the box while you shuffle the cards. The box says, the original and only authorized edition of the 78-card tarot deck designed by Pamela Coleman Smith, trademarked, under the direction of, all caps, Arthur Edward Witt. Why is Pamela Coleman Smith trademarked? Is writer the real name of Smith? Why would the deck be under her real name rather than her pseudonym? Step 3. Draw a card. It's Wheel of Fortune, which is a fine card. You don't know what it means, but it's clearly got hell of symbols all over it, and it's covered in Hebrew letters, which you can read. Your ignorance is by design. This is a perfect writing prompt. Step 4. Write about your dead cat instead. Consider the way you eulogized her on Facebook. Consider the creative writing professor who, rather than offering sympathy, told you that you could get a poem out of your eulogy. Consider the utilitarian aspects of dead cats in the furtherance of literary careers. Step 5. Acquire a new cat. Acquire a kitten who is too young to be weaned, but whose mother has been cut in half by a car. Give her cow's milk, then wet food, then wet and dry food. Live with her in places like Texas and California and Georgia and New Mexico and Louisiana. Take care of her litters until giving in and having her spayed. Wait for her to develop mammary cancer. Wait for her to lose interest in peeing on your stuff. Wait for her shits to slowly shrink and harden. Wait for the cancer to spread to her lungs and for her breathing to become labored. Wash her tumor while you wait. Wash her tumor in sterilized water, then hydrogen peroxide, then neosporin, but not the kind with painkiller. This is because cats lick neosporin off their wounds, which is good, unless it has the painkiller, which is highly toxic to cats. Watch her lick the neosporin off her wounds until her breathing is such that she doesn't feel up to doing so anymore. Discuss her with the doctor. When the doctor offers steroid shots, take them once, because she is still eating and still has her personality. Watch her appetite sharply decline in a week. Comfort her as she wakes up, short of breath and afraid in the middle of the night. Spend the night in the kitchen with her, whispering promises that she'll never, ever leave her and she'll never be alone. Call the vet when they open. 11 a.m. because it's Sunday. Make your 1:30 appointment, then wait for the Sunday doctor because her last patient bit her and she's gone home to clean up with sterilized water, hydrogen peroxide, and neosporin. Soothe the cat's anger after she is injected with sedative. Hold the cat's head, rubbing her ear the way she likes, while she receives her lethal injection, whispering those same promises until the light leaves her eyes in an instant. When asked about cremation, accept the services but reject the ashes. Tell them to discard the ashes wherever because cats are people but corpses aren't, and you just saw your cat leave, you know she's not there. When you sign the bill, you are either clear-headed or impoverished enough to notice that you are not charged for the cremation. Step 6. Repeat step 5. Write one dead cat poem every 13 years. This general avoidance of poetry will help you live a long time, enabling your heirs to release a single slim volume immediately upon your own death, for a breast cancer maybe or according to your specific needs. If you lack heirs, employ a Twitter bot. Step 7. The cats must always, invariably, be female. You're writing poems about them, no? Let them be Smith poems, not Waite poems.
Who the hell was writer? He saunters up like deep-fried gumbo.
Limbs moving gracefully, yet horribly asymmetric, and asks me if he's having fun yet. I give him directions, suggest that he buy a hat against the sun, and assure him he will die in the Queen of Cities. He is done with delight, but he is quite pleased. I think of chocolate, or at least I tell myself I'm thinking of chocolate when I think of chocolate raspberry-flavored vodka and imitation pomegranate juice. I try to think of chocolate beignets, but quickly stop. The nearby compost is sprinkled with powdered sugar. I wrote this poem twice, first as free verse, then as a villanelle, and then I mashed them together. I'm sorry about that. Of course, today, this card. Of course, today it's you. Of course, this card, it's you, dear heart, on the eve of your birthday, this birthday of yours you will not see. This card, 9 of Swords, and you in the dark. Of course your hair is blonde, crying there in the dark. She has your hair, and you are crying in the dark, except you don't cry in the dark anymore. Of course it's me in the dark, old skin, dark hair, hoping my tears can bleach my hair until it looks like yours. Of course I am on my bed in the dark, comparing my bed to yours. My match is too thick, 9 of Swords, for grief in the dark. Of course there are 9 swords. There is rye, weed, cigarettes, coke, fent, heroin, razors, and REM. Especially there is poetry recited in the dark. Especially there is me reciting your poetry in the dark, since you do not recite it anymore. There is me in the dark with rye, weed, cigarettes, fent, razors, and REM. Of course I seek these things. Of course there is pizza and fried ramen in the dark. I try to take your vice, 9 of Swords, and me in the dark. I seek fibromyalgia here in the dark. Of course I want your fibro here in the dark. Still fantasizing I can take your pain for myself, now that your pain has left you, now that there is nothing left but your verse in the dark. Your poems have seen the death of your heart. I recite and wonder if you believed them safe, 9 of Swords, when you went to dark, when you stopped crying alone in the dark. It is a prayer after the prayers of my late friend Michelle Greenblatt. Oh, morning cracklin', children dancing, in summer camps to 90s beats. Oh, Texas swing, oh, German squeeze box, oh, rallies for our virgins lost. Oh, king of cookouts, Lord of Hennessy, bless us with the magic of your fantastic Cadillac. Oh, queen of daiquiris, dressed in emerald, your ass a shelf on which 2 beer cans can stand. Oh, master of festivals, older than Paul, teach us humanity, prince of the power of the air. Oh, mistress of burials. And we who see no difference between vengeance and escape. We who have challenged Ozymandias to a foot race. We who seek the feminine in necklaces of pearls. We who seek the masculine in Christmas ornament beards. O float that honors Han Solo's passing. O float that mocks a lynching victim. O theater marathon for Amy and Charles Schumer. O 600th ride for bicyclists' respect. We whose hotel skyscrapers reach from cliff to swamp. We who feel unsettled if we aren't building on the sand. O Fedodo, O second line, O gentle command in the cry room. May our every wound become radiant in your Dionysian heat.